It does. It does give me great joy. I mean, when people call me, oh, can I look at your clocks? Sure. After they look at them all, now I say, which one you want? You mean you're giving me one? I said, yeah. I said, you can have one.
Over the last 40 years, a Calumet County man has given away hundreds of his handmade clocks.
Unbelievable. And he only started making them after a conversation with his dying brother. Tonight in Small Towns, Jeff Alexander travels to Chilton to meet this generous clockmaker.
If you stop by Eugene Stocky's home, chances are you'll find him in his basement shop.
Just go around, follow the line.
Busy at work.
When you get up to the end, you go back.
Making his latest creation.
I always turn it towards the inside, or you would have a mark on your pattern, just so you don't have nothing.
For most of his life, though, clockmaking was never on Eugene's radar. After growing up on a dairy farm in nearby Potter, Eugene got married and started a family. He then spent nearly 40 years working for the former Carnation Company in Chilton, always dabbling in woodworking in his free time. But then one day, his brother called, asking for some help on a project in his kitchen.
So I went over there around, I don't know, 9 o'clock. So we got done, it was around noon, had lunch. Then he told me, he says he had cancer and he was going to die in 6 months.
Trying to come to grips with the news, Eugene noticed a new clock in his brother's kitchen.
And I said, oh, where you get that clock from? He says, oh, I make them. Oh. So, okay. He said, you want a copy? I said, sure, I'll try it.
With that pattern, Eugene took his first crack at clockmaking, and this is the result. The next one, a much bigger challenge, and a request from his late wife, Anita.
That was sort of touchy, too. I mean, I made it, but then when they come, the piece had to fit in between there. That had to be exact, or it wouldn't have worked, and was...
But it worked.
Yeah, it fitted perfect. I mean, you didn't have to glue it or nothing. I mean, Eugene, but yeah, it was good.
Anita loved the clock, and Eugene had found a hobby.
Then you can blow it up or make it smaller if you don't like it that big.
That made him tick.
And I started to get books and everything else, I mean, to make, and I make everything. I mean, whatever, something that I thought is good, I mean, really. And I enjoyed, and yeah, I make it.
Since those first few clocks, Eugene has handcrafted hundreds more with one sole purpose.
Yeah.
And I give them away. I don't sell any. I mean, and people come, they call me up. I mean, when I was featured in our Wisconsin, people called me up. And there was a guy from Texas, he called me up. And I had, the clock was in the book. He says, I need that clock. I says, yeah? He says, I'll pay you for it. I said, you ain't getting it. I says, I don't want nothing for it. You can have it. I'll send it to you. Well, he said, no, I'll pay for it. I said, no, you ain't getting it. He said that 3 times. And then he says, okay. So then I send it to him. And 3 weeks later, he sent me a check, $150.
After that feature article, Eugene says other strangers approached him in stores asking about his clocks.
You're kind of a celebrity.
Yeah, I guess sort of.
Over the years, Eugene fine-tuned his clock-making process.
And I usually build 3 clocks at a time. Because one, I'm maybe cutting it out, and then I'm gluing on one or staining the other one. It ain't just, it gets sort of boring if you're just working at one all the time, and or you're maybe gluing something, you can't work at nothing for a day or 2. So then I'm working at a different one.
Eugene uses either walnut or oak in all of his clocks. These are some of his recent ones, ready for a new home.
And I got a little train that goes around in there.
A gift from a man who considers time precious and uses his talents to keep track of it.
But I love it though, I mean, really, so it's a lot of fun.
At 91 years old, Eugene says he still has all kinds of clocks he wants to make and, of course, give away. An amazing man with a generous heart. In Chilton with photojournalist Michael Bergman, I'm Jeff Alexander for Small Towns.
And a superb talent.
Oh my
wow,
goodness.
what a woodworker.
Looks like he belongs from the Black Forest in Germany, and they're so beautiful, aren't they?
Gorgeous. Wonderful work, Eugene. Well, next week in Small Towns, how one man's vision 50 years ago helped create a unique nature preserve right along the lakeshore.